Ananta.
Thank you, dear Randeep, and thank you, dear and respected Professor Mala Kapadia, and friends co-present, Minati, Ofra, our friend from Israel, and all friends co-present. Navaratri, 9 nights. Nights have a very deep significance. At one point, we make the distinction between day and night as dark. But night is also the womb of light, and like Sivaratri, like on the day with Shiva, we do not say Shiva Divas, we say Sivaratri, Navaratri. Why do we say Shiva Divas, Sivaratri, and Navaratri instead of Shiva Divas and Navadivas? Like we say Independence Day, we do not say Independence Night. I think our ancient cultures, they had a deep journey with night. So night is not only dark as opposed to light, but night as vigil, light as being awake. And therefore, in Bhagavad Gita, it is written, Janisa Jasya, where everybody is awake, the Munis are asleep, and when everybody is asleep, the Munis are awake. So therefore, the night has a deep significance in the history of humanity. In fact, it is from the womb of darkness, when there was no light, then the light emerged. So therefore, we can realize the significance of Ratri, Navaratri in that way. Another thing is night is always a moment of awakening, in the sense that even from our everyday experience, like when I am traveling, so as a humble traveler, I realize that when you travel in the night, it's a blessing. But at the same time, one has to be awake. If you are not awake, then you are in the vicinity of danger. Like your things may be stolen, and similarly, in the night, if you are not awake, so we are continuously on the verge of danger. And what is that danger? That danger is forgetting our original sense of originality. What is our originality? We are the spark of the divine. We are the blessings of nature. At the same time, there are many forces which pulls are around. So, and today is Ashtami, the day, the 8th. All these numbers also have great significance. So as our friend Ofra is from Israel, and both in ancient Judaism and in Vedic religions, numbers have a lot of significance. And so Mala can help us with the significance of the number 9. I just wish to share that it is through the blessing of the Divine Mother that I am speaking with you from Kolkata. And many years ago, I think in 2016, I was visiting the pandals, and out of the many pandals, I just saw one pandal where Goddess Durga is not piercing the spear in the breast of Mahishasura. It's a very different symbology of the Mahishasura. It's really getting transformed. In fact, the killing of Mahishasura is a very initial symbol. And I think, like all symbols, we do not have to look at it only literally, but symbolically. In fact, the killing of Mahishasura is not so much as killing in a literal sense, but as a transformation. And the artists are also, though I saw that only once many years ago, that the artists are also trying to meditate with the symbol of transformation. Finally, last evening, being Saptami, I was able to compose these few lines which I offer. It goes like this: Navaratri, Satyaratri, Mahasaptami, Saptarshi, Sapta Sindhu, a new ocean of love and awakening. This is dedicated to Professor Subhash Sharma and his dear and respected wife, Krishna Behenji. So now we look forward to being, enriched by Professor Malaka.
Dhanyavad Ananta. Dhanyavad Ranjit. We begin with a little invocation of the Mother to be with us. Sarvamangala Mangalye Shive Sarvartha Sadhike Sharanye Trambake Gauri Narayani Namostute Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Matrurupena Samsthita Namastasyai 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 Namo Namaha. Bahu Dhanyavadaha. I think it's a great honor to be here today talking on Maha Ashtami. And Bandhu Ananta very beautifully shared the 4 lines that he penned yesterday on Maha Saptami. And out of the entire Navaratri, only Saptami, Ashtami and Navami are called Mahadev. These are the 3 divas or 3 Ratris of Mahadurga. So we invoke Mahadurga, of course, during the entire Navaratri in her various incarnations, in her various Swarupa, from Shailaputri to many others. However, the most significant begins from Mahasaptami, Mahashtami and Mahanavami. These numbers, as Bandhu said, are very significant. Today, when I was thinking that, okay, I have 30 minutes with all of you and what do I talk about? Because there is so much that one can talk about. So I said, let me talk about, first of all, of course, about Mahishasura, because it's the Mahishasura Mardini that we are invoking. And Ananta rightly said, it's all about transformation of the Mahisha Asura. So let's begin with who is Dev and who is Asura. For that, we need to go back to Bhagavad Gita, where beautifully in chapter 16, Adhyay 16, the Daivi Sampata and the Asuri Sampata has been explained. And I think because many of us come from the field of academics, many of us also come from not just humanities, like I come from psychology, but we also come from management and leadership literature. And I really truly believe that these 9 days, if the human resource departments in management, they can actually look at using these 3 days or 3 nights as a special focus of training on transformation, from Asuri Sampat to Daivi Sampat. The basic difference is selfishness of life of Asura versus selflessness of life of a Daivi Sampat person. So someone who lives for the humanity, someone who's not living only for self, only for, my family, I, me, myself, my religion, my country. And in our Sanatan Dharma, we call this as Brahma Sankoch. There was a very, very ancient Santa Kavi Dadu Dayal, And Dadu Dayal has beautifully said that there is no greater sin than Brahma Sankoch. Because when you keep the Brahma in contraction, don't allow it to expand, our nature also becomes xenophobic, which makes us Asuri, which makes us scarcity driven. And these days of Navaratri are our own inner transformation from that xenophic self, that Brahma Sankoch, to Brahma Vistar. Because ultimately, what does the Devi represent? Devi represents life. Devi represents creativity and creation. Devi represents also prosperity. So we go from a very, very xenophobic, small-mindedness, selfishness, to expand ourselves as a mother. Because a mother is not a mother of only somebody whom she has given birth to. This is a matrika which has given birth to the entire creation. And therefore, she does not say, I will look after one child and I will not look after the other child. She looks after all her creation with her greatness. And therefore, when we invoke Narayani, when we invoke Durga, when we invoke Mahishasur Mardini, we begin with Kali, because Kali represents time. As Bandhu Ananta was explaining about night and darkness, for us in Sanatan Dharma, in our Bharatiya perspective, night or darkness is not bad. Because night or darkness, the Ratri, there is also Ratri Suktam in Rig Veda. So the Ratri represents just another aspect of divinity. And what is Mahakali? The color of Mahakali is black. And today's scientists, quantum physicists are saying that space is black hole. We knew of Mahakal and Mahakali much, much, much before the scientists talk about her, or the scientists talk about the black hole. So Mahakali is the time. She's Anaadi, she's Ananta. Also, she's the destroyer of fear. Because our fear is connected with time. We see our life in a time frame. And therefore we think, oh, I'm alive now. And the moment I die, I may not be there. And we are afraid of dying. If we look at death as a blessing of Mahakali, it's only a transition in her lap. It's only our transformation. Then the worship of Kali in Navaratri becomes a blessing for all of us. Then we are not afraid of Ratri. Then we are not afraid of darkness. The other aspect, and Einstein said time and space are relative. Look at how physics and spirituality comes together. So if time is Mahakali, which Devi, who represents space? And this is where we come to Bhuvaneshwari. Bhuvaneshwari represents space. Mahatripur Sundari, where does she reside? She resides in Daharakasha. Where is Daharakasha? It's in our heart. Rilke, as a poet, was the only poet I know who has coined the term heart space. Maybe he didn't know, he didn't realize, but heart space, when Rilke talks of heart space, he's referring to Daharakasha. And who resides in Daharakasha? Bhuvaneshwari, Mahatripura Sundari. In Lalita Sahasranam, we take her name as someone who resides in our Daharakasha. So time and space, the moment we make friends with time and space, there is no fear in our life. There is only expansion of our true nature, which is Brahma. And unless we realize how to how to transform from Brahma Sankoch to Brahma Vistar, our Navratri will not be complete. Number 8. Many people in astrology say number 8 is number of Saturn. And Saturn again is connected with transformation. Many people who are, are not understanding astrology or the planet Saturn and its impact on us at a deeper level are afraid of Shani. They say, oh, I'm going through a very bad period of Shani in my life. However, the bad period, as it is called, is only a period of discipline. So if you are disciplined, if your karmic debt is positive, then Saturn will not harm you or will not create suffering for you. But if you have deviated from being Swaniyantrit, if you have lived by Asuri Sampat, selfishness, not expanding into the Daivi Swarup, then obviously Saturn brings you on the path of the divine. And when we have to go into that path of divine, it's only the Matru Rupena Samsthita. Because ultimately, all the life, all the creativity, all the transformation within us comes from our Matru. Unfortunately, what has happened, and I'm very happy to have the external puja. Please don't get me wrong. We all need the Bahya puja. We all need the Devi idols in our own temples, in pandals, right? In temples, we need the Pran Pratishtha in them. However, these 9 days are also the days where we go inside, and within us, we find all the 9 Rupa, Swarupa of Devi within us. The moment we are able to realize what the Vedic, Satya, the Param Satya or the Rut is, Pinde te Brahmande. So if Brahmanda and Pinda are the same, then I am Mahakali, I am Bhuvaneshwari, I am Durga. Of course, I worship her outside. However, I worship her outside only to internalize her within me and go these 9 nights. And that is the reason the worship during the day is important, but the worship during the night, as Bandhu said, need to be awake, need to be vigilant at night is very important. Because night, and many of us who have kept awake at night, as he rightly said, if you have traveled at night, if you go out, and thank God I'm not in a city, I live far away from a city. So I'm not surrounded with artificial lights at night. And I'm able to enjoy the Mahakali's Shuddha Swarupa at night with all the Graha, Nakshatra, Tara Mandal, and that beauty, that Chandra, that Abha, that Chandani, it itself is a poetry. It itself is a stuti or a stotra of Mahakali. And in Navratri, this is what is a possibility for us to one side connect with that Brihad Swarup of Mahakali, internalize her within us, and then close our eyes, go within and experience her within us. Of course, the external yantra, idols, Bahya Puja are all helpful. However, slowly, Navratri teaches us to go internal, do my Antar Puja, experience myself as the Swarupa. My Rupa is also that of her. I am an Ausha of her. And if I am her, who am I worshipping? I'm worshipping myself ultimately. And this is not about gender. Please remember, it's extremely unfortunate what is happening to our younger generation today. I feel extremely sorry for the younger generation for all the gender identity confusion which is being deliberately created for political reason, for financial reason, for control reasons, right? We never, in Sanatan Dharma, we never had any problem with gender. Gender was not our true identity. Our true identity always went beyond gender. And therefore, though we accept ourselves as male or female or transgender, whichever gender we are born in, we accepted it with grace. We accepted it as respect. And therefore, when we say Shiva as Ardhanari Nateshwar, it's not an identity crisis, right? But it's the ultimate oneness of Shiva and Shakti as Chaitanya. And we need to realize that within these Navaratri, the more we are able to internalize our own Devi Swarupa. And this is where what helps us? Saturn helps us. Today's night, Ashtami night, is very, very, very powerful night. Why is it so powerful? Why is more powerful than other nights? Because Ashtami is a night when true transformation of the soul can happen. Number 8 is a number of transformation. And therefore, today's night, this night is called extremely critical for our transformation and our alignment with the divine, not the divine outside alone, but the divine within. And therefore, today, the moment we go within, and tonight when we meditate, even the meditation disappears. Because the difference between me and my Devi, the difference between me doing meditation on my Devi also disappears. In Sri Aurobindo's Savitri, and this is where I realize that it's very sad that we have accepted for the younger generation today all the feminism movement from the West. We have never looked at the role models or the gender identity models from Indian perspective, from Sanatan Dharma perspective. So when you read Savitri, you realize that for her husband, for Satyavan, the travel she does is not just an external travel of following Yama. It's an internal travel of her soul, transcending the humanness to reach the highest of truth and bring back her husband's soul so that she can continue in a human form her life with Satyavana. Sri Aurobindo has written a lot on the mother, of course, Matru Shakti, Bhavani, Mahakali, Maheshwari, Mahalakshmi. These are the Swarupa of Devi that we all can internalize. In fact, I've been doing some work in academics. I've been also doing some work in the corporate. And we did one program. Anant, may I share one PowerPoint? Do I have? Can I share screen?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
You can use the share option.
Yeah, I will. I am doing that. Oh, why is your screen sharing is paused, it says.
Hello, Randhir. Can you allow screen sharing, please? Randhir?
I think she can share. She has to just.
Yeah, but when I'm sharing, this Zoom meeting is coming up. I don't know why. Are you able to? Are you seeing that?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, but I don't want that. I'm clicking on my PowerPoint. But even if I click on my PowerPoint, it's the Zoom which is coming up.
Yes, you have to just click there. There is a share a screen button.
Just once try, otherwise it's okay. I
Okay.
can talk from my
Otherwise, you can email it to Randhir and he can play it. Suppose if you have a minute, you can email it
no,
to
that's
him.
okay. That's okay. I'll just talk about it. I'll open the PowerPoint here and I'll talk from my slide. I think there is some problem, even the PowerPoint slide, now it opened up. Okay. Okay. So there was one program in corporate that we had done. And in that corporate, we had about 100 women. And we were looking at Dasha Mahavidya, 10 goddesses, and what is each goddess representing in us. Because the moment we see the mother, the moment we see Devi as Shakti, and that Shakti is not just outside, but that Shakti is within us. And each Shakti is representing something within us that can be invoked. So if we start looking at Shakti, it begins, as I said, with Kali. It goes to Tara in Dashamahavidya. Then Shodashi. This is where it is from darkness to enlightenment. Then from Shodashi, we go to Bhuvaneshwari. And then we go to Bhairavi. This is where emergence of action happens. Because each Dasha Mahavidya that represents one Devi each, it talks from darkness to enlightenment. Enlightenment allows us to direct our action. From that action, where do we go? We go to progress, our own spiritual progress. So Chinnamasta, Dhumavati, and then finally Bagalamukhi. These are the three Devis of Dashamahavidya who represent from action to progress. Because when we look at Chinnamasta, what does she do? She cuts her own head and holds it, right? What does a head represent? It represents an intellect which is trapped in animal and human existence. So if I want the divine intelligence, the mother's creative force to come into me and transform me and also help me participate into the Leela of life, what do I have to do? I have to cut that ego. I have to cut myself, de-link myself from that trapped, limited IQ. And what does Baglamukhi do? Baglamukhi holds the tongue of people who are not with the right buddhi. So first of all, I invoke mother for the right buddhi, but I also need to know Swabodha and Shatru Bodha. So Baglamukhi helps me fight with my Shatru. Baglamukhi helps me to stop my Shatru from my progress. She removes all the distractions from my path of progress. And the moment I'm on the path of progress, and this is what to me personally I feel, that even the last 3 days of Navaratra, they take us, if our sadhana is on the right path, they take us from progress to prosperity. Because the moment from Baglamukhi, we go to Matangi and Matangi to Kamala, right? Kamala is the Swarupa of Mahalakshmi. She represents prosperity. So from darkness, we have a full circle going all the way to Kamala and we end with prosperity. And we need to realize one thing, and this is where, though it may sound very Western and superficial, but what I realized while doing these programs for a corporate organization for women who were at a very senior leadership role, to women who were, maybe at a clerical role. However, they all were women representing Shakti. In the moment they stopped seeing themselves as either a CEO of the organization or a clerical role in a back office. They started experiencing their own existence as Shakti. We gave them few assignments, few worksheets about what each Devi represents and how will they find that Devi within. And I think if we are able to do our own sadhana of Navaratri, bringing out each aspect of Devi from within us, transforming that darkness, Mahishasur, if he represents alasya, procrastination, getting trapped into habits, right, which are stopping me from my progress. If I invoke Devi and if I become Devi to kill that Mahisha Asura within me, obviously the Bhagavad Gita Daivi Sampad that I started with, we all will be able to create that shift. But to create that inner transformation, 9 nights and the sadhana. Of course, with the sadhana, food becomes important, and therefore we eat very sattvic food during these days. Or those who are able to fast, we can look at it as a detox at a body and also the manasik level, the sharira and manasa, for shuddhi, for divinity. I mean, I realize that during Navratra, I become extra cautious that what am I eating? Because if the Devi is coming within me, if I'm inviting the Devi within me, I have to feed her what is right. You know, at other times we may eat food which is rajasic, sometimes even tamasic, which may not be good for the health, but which we like for our tongue. And we indulge into these things. And the same about not just food for the tongue, but food for the eyes, the food for my ears. What am I listening to? What music do I listen to? Right? What visuals am I seeing? What do I allow myself to touch? Do I wear clothes which are natural, which are cotton, not synthetic, so that my skin feels good? Am I using perfume which is natural? Am I using flowers to decorate myself as if I'm myself a Devi? And if we do that, it's very sad that we have lost our, all ancient tradition with its own scientific spirit. In fact, very recently I was taking a session on debate. And in our own Shastra, we have a lot of literature on how to conduct debate, right? Now, debate is not just communication skill at a superficial level. It's about invoking Ma Saraswati, right? To connect us with the highest truth. I don't want to argue with a mundane brain power. I want to talk. I want my vaka to be Shuddha. And therefore, if it's very sad that in colleges and schools, when we teach debates, we teach all Western models of 4 steps of getting into a negotiation. What if we invoke people to worship Ma Saraswati so that my vak is Shuddha? My debate is not just an ego-driven activity, but my debate is to reach the truth. And therefore, the moment I invoke Maha Saraswati, what happens? My vak becomes Shuddha. And one of the old tradition during debates was to wear mala. Let's say 2 people are getting into a debate. They would wear a mala, a garland of very delicate flowers. And naturally, in a debate, if I'm losing my cool, right? If I'm getting angry, my anger will generate so much body heat within me so that the mala, the garland of flowers, will lose its prana. And the moment if that mala is losing the prana, I lose my debate, even if I'm winning my argument. How beautiful our tradition has been. So it was never about self, for self, that not the small s self, but it was always about the capital S self, which is the divine. And Navaratri is a reminder to us. I need to invoke Devi in whatever I do, whatever I eat, whatever I see, whatever I listen to, whatever I speak. So the food I eat, of course, I'm doing it with the tongue. And therefore, if I'm reciting a mantra, that also is with my tongue. So that's how the food and the power of food and the power of mantra come together. And therefore, giving rest to my tongue is also very critical. Not eating the wrong food, not saying wrong words, not thinking wrong words, but my entire focus during these 9 days, if I can invoke Devi and Divine. At one level, she represents prosperity, abundance, creativity, but at another level, she also represents destruction of that which is untruth, that which is not useful for humanity, that which needs to be transformed. And in that transformation, when we invite Devi through the sadhana, through our mantra chanting, through our Bahyachar puja, whatever we are doing, whatever path we take, that path ultimately transforms us, makes us go a little closer to her. And today's night, Ashtami night, is a very powerful night. I'm very grateful to be here with all of you sharing my thoughts. However, I would rest here and I would just, if any questions, any dialogue, any sharing from everyone, let's have a dialogue. Samvada now. Dhanyavada. Bahu bahu dhanyavada.
So some words are inadequate to express the realization that you have gifted us. And it is very deep. I thank you with my heart. So dear friends, let us join this journey of realization by bringing our thoughts to this. So I invite friends to share your reflections, questions, comments, and I request Mala to kindly take note, and after listening to a few, you would kindly give us your further thoughts.
Sure.
So please, friends, please share your thoughts. Maybe we can begin with our friend from Israel, Ofra, please.
Oh, I wanted to thank you for this recharging gift. For me, it's very moving, and sharing with you those moments is valuable and deep and really recharge me. Thank you so much.
If it is okay, you can put your video on. We can just see you for a moment.
I have kids around me. Actually, you know, this is the hour that we took the kids from the shelters to see something. So I'm sorry.
Okay, and our prayers in these difficult moments.
Yes.
For our brothers and sisters in Palestine, Israel, and we pray for peace in these difficult moments, please.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And other friends, please. We see Albert. Albert, would you like to share some thought? Okay, Gianluigi. Then Minati.
Excuse me, yes, excuse me. I have
Gyanvi
some
has
problems
passed.
with my microphone and my video. Excuse me. Thank you very much. It was really very interesting. I could take very many notices and I will meditate on them because very many points were not so much known for me, and I'm now compelled to think over them in order to become clear about the contents, the richness of the contents, of course. Therefore, I thank you very much. It was really impressive and enlightening. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Maybe if it is okay, Gyan, you can bring a little bit of your meditation with Plato, and a little bit, like the symbol of the night in Plato, and if you find some resonance between these thoughts and in Plato.
Well, yes, of course, there is, yes, there are resemblances because as far as I see Plato, there is the necessity to for every individual, for the individual who wants to make a thread of education and of self-education, there is the necessity of a long formation, of a long education, and of a long contacts with a reality which is not the average reality. That is, the road for Plato is very difficult. The more I think about Plato, and the more also I think about some points of Gita, for instance, about the tripartition of the individual, which is common to both, very, very similar at least, very similar. The more I meditate on the two texts and on the two meditation, the more I think that the two texts do not conceal that the road of education and of self-correction is very long, is arduous, and is very difficult. That is, there is nothing to be concealed about it. As regards Plato, I would say that constant in Plato is the necessity that the individual meditate over himself and over herself, of course. This is also for everybody, but that there is the necessity of becoming aware of one's own limitations, to becoming aware of the way in which this limitation could be at least limited. That is, well, it is a little bit so a play of words, but we have to limit our limitations. And there is also the necessity to become aware that in order to go over at least some of our limitation, we have to reach the contact with another dimension. That is, the average dimension proves to be not appropriate in order to go over our limitations. We have to, the first step is to meditate of ourselves, to, so to speak, retreat from the average reality, and then to go over also the self-meditation in order to reach a condition in which we can experience the transcendence, at least have an intuition of them. Because as limited beings, we cannot really become one thing with the transcendent dimension. Also, here there is the necessity to go over the I, that is, the individuality as individuality is something which separates from other people, and it's something which, on closer inspection, can only produce damages and can only produce a constant situation of conflict with other people. That is, at least the average I, the I which we have in our normal experience in life, is something which we should try to abandon. should try to limit. We have to change profoundly. That is, I think that the common points of Plato is that we have to change very much our average dimension, in spite of the fact that this is very difficult because the average life dimension absorbs us. That is, it is not so that it is not simple. It is not a simple situation. I would say that I would see as common points this necessity to go over the average I, to let the usual individuality, to abandon the usual individuality in order to reach a more appropriate dimension, but with the awareness that this road is very difficult. I would say this. Yes. Thank you very much.
Wonderful.
Thank you. Minoti?
Thank you, Anantabhai. I mean, I would first like to thank Malabam so much. It is always mesmerizing listening to her. And today was especially how Anantabhai says, no, there is no words. And in front of the stalwarts, I don't know, but I can just share my experience. Like it is always, it is a pleasure to listen from, learn from Malamam's lectures and her presentations. So I just want to share two small things, my own experience. You know, like from the childhood onwards, I just heard, from my father that I always used to ask, why this Durga Puja is so grand? He always says it is not that the victory of good over evil, or you can have your own, capture your own asuras, like they say, conquer your own bad qualities. I mean, probably in the childhood, that time it did not, I could not understand that much what it really meant. And slowly, when I am learning, first I am experiencing, then I am learning. What Malamo was telling today, I mean, those things theoretically we know now. But when you practice that Navaratri fasting or Navaratri wearing, you feel some transformation is happening. I mean, I don't find those words to how to express. Then what I did, I started writing it into many poetries and into the essays, and the things not always sharing whether spiritually I'm going right, whether I'm writing right. So those things I have tried. And I would like to thank Malamam so much, because today I learned a lot about different perspective of different things, and about Dasa Mahavidya and about this sadhana. It happens. So I would like to read one poetry, if it is allowed.
Yes.
Yeah. And whatever I keep on posting, thank you so much. You always encourage me. I mean, that you would have read before, but still I would like to share that. This thing.
Please share. Please share. What happened, Minati? Her connection, I think, got. She's not there in the group. Her connection, I think, went away, Ananta.
Okay, maybe she's coming. In the meantime, you can please share your reflection, and then she would conclude with her point.
My reflection, I've shared, I think, almost everything, right?
And that is so nice. And Gyan brought a very interesting journey.
Yes.
Plateau. That is
absolutely, absolutely.
We can also remember and realize how in all religious and spiritual tradition there is a sadhana with the night. During the holy Ramadan, so our brothers and sisters, they stay awake the whole night. and they're the chanting of the lines from the Holy Quran. Similarly, in the Christian tradition. So that way, our humanity, in all its different gifts of paths, so they share this journey of sadhana with the night as not just a time to sleep in an unreflective way, but night as a time to be awake, to chant, to invoke that greater reality that is with us. So I think let us see if Minati has connected in the meanwhile. We'll just
Yeah, she's come back. Yeah.
yeah.
Minati has come back. No, she was coming. I think she wanted
Okay, I
to.
got cut. Sorry, I don't know. I didn't realize when it got cut. I mean, all of you could hear the poetry.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
waiting for your
No,
poetry.
I mean,
No,
no, that one.
we could not hear your poem. Please say it again.
Okay, okay. All right, just say it got cut. So that is this thing. So Anantabhai,
Yes.
I would just share it at the end. I will take it out again. Please, you can continue at the end. I will just share
No,
because it has gone.
we are at the end now. We are at the end. So you can please share your poem.
Just a minute. It will take little time to again open it. It is gone. So that is why. It's
You
like.
take your time. In the meantime, any other friend co-present, if you like to kindly share some thought, you are welcome, please. Sonu Kumar. Since we talked about the significance of food, as Minati is, finding the deep springs of her poem, let me share these lines. The name of the poem is Yogi and a Little Spoon of Rice. Oh, I do not need this extra spoon of rice. I eat little. Have you become a yogi? Is there any way except this? So this is a
Beautiful.
and in the same way that attention to food and what we wear
Exactly.
is, as Anna is saying, so significant because in our day of artificiality and so it is not irreversible. I think we can be awakened about our natural state of existence through what we eat, what we wear,
Exactly.
and it affects on our skin. And skin, in a way, is really the door between the inner and the outer. And like, so therefore, the kind of irritation and disrespect we bring to our skin,
Exactly.
by mindless kind of, whether it is perfume or things like that, So
I don't think Minati is able to.
1 minute, 1 minute. I'll just getting it. Just 2 minutes. Just I got it. Oh, Anantabhai, I will do it without that video. This video means it's going. Okay, I found it again. Sorry, so all of you kept waiting on me. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, Minati. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Durga, the divine mother, you are the inertia. You are the passion and transcendence, the divine mother's feminine energy in its full glory, descended from the heavenly abbot to destroy the devils and demons of insight. In these 9 days of joy and festivity of the chakras are awakened in the echoes of your hymns, the unfathomable power empowering the whole world. But can't you see, Mother, that your offsprings are in constant distress, lost in #MeToo campaign, fighting to remain safe every single day, from womb to tomb, against every discrimination to get a life of their own. Use your threshold to kill all the social evil, your chakras to slash the blind customs, your swords to cut the inequalities, and your mass to smash the glass ceiling from ages, your arrows to land in self-confidence, your cones to blow away the harassment, and your lotus to spread the fragrance of happiness and love, and make the world beautiful with your eternal presence. Thank you. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Minati. That was beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So now we are at our Sandhya Muhurta.
Right, absolutely, Sandhya Muhurta.
Now, Minati, you can say some
Yes.
concluding lines.
Yeah, that is, I just share, I have to just learn. So on behalf of Swadhyaya Chakra and Vishwanidam Center for Asian Blossoming, I am Minati Pradhan. With immense pleasure and happiness, would like to thank Dr. Mala Kapadia, our dear Mala Ma'am, for gifting us today in the Mahastim Day a vast bowl of, immense knowledge about it. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you. Words are not enough. I would also like to thank Oprah for being present with us in this divine journey and learning with us. Thank you, ma'am. And as always, Professor Galuiji and the people, Sugyan Modi ji, the Sonu Kumar, whom I can see on the Zoom platform, and the Facebook platform friends for joining with us in our journey. Thank you all. Please pardon me if I have forgotten anybody's name, but I really thank all of you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much. Thank you, and happy Ashtami once again.
Shubha Ashtami. Shubha Ashtami.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Shubha Ashtami to everyone.
Mala ma'am, looking forward to meet you in person sometime.
Yes, we will. We will.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Dhanyawad.
मीनाती दीदी आपको भी थैंक यू।
Thank